Oh, can I fix it? I don't know, but let's look and see. Hi, everybody. It's Jane from Living Skies Vintage, and I was working on this picture, and well, I had an accident with my masking fluid. As you can see, I spilt quite a bit of it. Some of it was starting to take off, but I noticed. So let's talk about this being a don't do this, do as I say and not as I do type of thing. So never leave your unopened container of masking fluid on your book when you're done. I knocked it over accidentally. It all flew into there. Hence I'm up there. I had just finished putting in all of these dots. So that's mistake number 1. Mistake number 2, don't try and remove your masking fluid while it's still wet. Now you can see here, see how this is quite opaque here? That's still wet. I'm not going to try and remove any more of it because that was what happened here, and you can see, you can actually even see on the back of this bit of masking fluid right here, where it is still kind of damp, how it's lifting off. Lift it up a little bit more. It's actually taking some of the ink off, so I'm going to let that sit a little longer, and that's what happened here. But thank goodness I can still see most of it, and the actual lines of the drawing aren't going to be as important once I'm done. But I do need to try and get some of this other masking fluid off. Now this stuff up here is dry. You probably can just barely see that, but it's coming off fairly easy. But it was also on top of my washi tape. I'm still a little concerned about in there, but let's see what I can do with this part. This is my my actual tool that I was using to put the masking fluid on. It's a little sculpting tool, little silicone sculpting tool, and I thought, well, that's much better than a brush. Now you see here it's starting to take off that paper a little bit. So I'm going to have to be really gentle. See if I can take it from the other direction. When I color this too, let's see if I can remove this part. It's easier if you stretch it. A little bit of paper came up with that one in here, but I think I can figure out where the dots are. Thank goodness. Those are just little pearls. At least that's what I think they are. Let's see if I can get the rest of this part off. But I was going to work really hard on this. You know how it is. So, hint. Number 3 is wait till all of this is really dry. Ooh, see that part right there? It's where it's a little bit thicker. That's kind of taking the paper off. But where it's thin and you can see through it, See how it's stretching? Ooh. There. Okay, well, that wasn't too bad. There's still a little bit there, which I think I'll maybe take my eraser and try and get that off there with my, yeah, that's much better. Because I am still going to try and paint this background. And if I have to replace these, I will. Come on. See a little bit there too. But at least the little dots that I put in, they were all nice and dry. They don't seem to be losing their the paper behind them. So I have hopes that as this gets drier, it'll get better. And it all kind of had flipped over to my pages here. See, it came in behind, so I'm gonna have to clean that up on my book. That's not good. At least that's the back of it. Okay. Still have all this to go. I don't want to ruin it. There we go. That's the page I'm working on. And this down here. Let's see. I can push that with my eraser head a little bit. Because it's kind of half wrapped up in the washi tape too. Take that off the washi tape. Oh my. It's gonna be interesting when I get it all off. But there you go. Stuck. I can't go any further for now. Come back and see what the finished item is going to look like, and I will come back and I will do this part once it's dry on a time lapse. And then you get to see all that. So I'll be back in a bit when that's a little drier, so I'm not pulling up so much of my paper behind it. And I'll talk to you then. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, so I'm back. This is dried, I think, as much as it's going to dry. I let it dry overnight and even part of the day. And well, let's take off the big sheet part. If you remember yesterday, this area right here was still quite wet. So we'll see how it does with this coming off. Seems to be actually leaving the print and the paper behind better than it did yesterday. So my advice, if you spill masking fluid, is make sure, or even if you don't spill it, make sure it dries completely before you try and remove said masking fluid. You can see all the little dots that I put down are coming up too, but I can replace those. Pretty cool, eh? My hand's way over here. All of this is just stretched away from the page. Now here's the part in here that I'm a little concerned about because it's gone down into the crevice of between the two pages. So there's quite a bit there, but I'm hoping, okay, I got that off. It actually doesn't look too bad. Other than the area that I had noted yesterday was starting to come up. It left most of the actual coloring book ink there. Now I started this little tail end just to kind of get it going, and hopefully pulling from this direction will be the answer. It seems to be coming out, actually, look at that, fairly cleanly. So masking fluid, stretch and pull, stretch and pull, and the stretch kind of releases it from the fibers of the paper. That's on the very edge, and that's just on the top. I've managed to elasticize my fingers. So there we go. Ooh. ASMR. Crinkly, goopy masking fluid, which I don't know. If you're like me, you can play with rubber things like that for a while. Anyways, I'm going to go back and I'm going to replace my little dots and yeah, continue on with this page. And now that you've seen what I'm working on, I'll probably come back and let you see how this comes along after that huge accident. The page on the back side seems to be okay too, so. And I've gotten most of it off. I'm going to have to try a little harder here on the cover, but I was more concerned about this than I was about the cover at the time. So, you guys take care, and we'll see you the next time. Please come back and join me if you like coloring pages, thrifting, vintage decor, and I do have a vintage type of decor and jewelry on my Etsy page, and that link will be below in the description, or should be. And otherwise, you can just find me at Living Skies Vintage SK. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thumbs up, and we'll see you the next time. Bye now.